Welcome again to my channel Muscle Train. Today we're gonna talk about top 5 bodybuilders with most Mr. Olympia wins in open bodybuilding. We've got Dorian Yates at number 5 with 6 Olympia titles between 1992 to 1997. Now Dorian Yates was one of the first mass monsters on Olympia's stage. He had this huge size on his side and was always the biggest guy on the stage. But it wasn't only his size which won him all these Olympia titles. It was his great conditioning, paper-thin skin, and his freaky back, which is regarded as one of the best backs of all time. Dorian had to retire after his 97 Olympia win due to injuries, which was a result of his heavy training style. He won all his Olympia titles competing against the greats like Shawn Ray, Kevin Levrone, and Flex Wheeler. Next up is Arnold Schwarzenegger at number 4 with his 7 Olympia wins. Arnold was the first real superstar bodybuilding world saw at that time. He opened up the doors of Hollywood and mainstream media to the bodybuilding. We all know him as a movie star and we've seen his photos in the gyms, but he was arguably the best bodybuilder of his time and had his track record of Olympia wins to show it. He won 6 Olympia titles from 1970 to 1975, and then he made a comeback in 1980 and got a controversial victory that year. Arnold's 7 Olympia wins were later equaled by Phil Heath, who we got at number 3 with his own 7 Mr. Olympia titles. Phil was most successful and dominant bodybuilder of this past decade. He won his first Mr. Olympia title in 2011 by beating his close friend and mentor Jay Cutler. After that, Phil has had 6 more Olympia victories to his name, with the last victory coming at 2017 Mr. Olympia. He lost his title in 2018 to Shawn Ray, but made his comeback in 2020 where he was placed number 3 on Olympia stage. As of now, Phil Heath is still not retired and may add to his Olympia tally in future. We've got Lee Haney at second spot, or I should say tied at first spot with his 8 Olympia wins. I would say Lee Haney was most dominant Mr. Olympia of all time during his reign when you talk about all their victories. I don't think there was any controversy with any of Lee Haney's victories. He had great symmetry and one of the most flawless physiques. Lee Haney retired young at the age of 32 to stay healthy and got himself into other business ventures. His 8 Olympia titles are still a record for most Olympia wins in open bodybuilding, which are only tied by Ronnie Coleman, who we got at first spot here. Ronnie Coleman's reign started at 1998 Mr. Olympia, where he beat Flex Wheeler after Dorian Yates retired the previous year. Ronnie went on to win 8 Mr. Olympia titles, with his last being in 2005. In his earlier year competing at Olympia stage, he wasn't seen as a future champion by many, but Ronnie ended up being arguably the best bodybuilder of all time. Ronnie was known for bringing his crazy size where he was outmatching everyone, and his conditioning was always on point. Ronnie was known for his super heavy training style by which he was gaining such a crazy muscle size. His 2003 Olympia physique is regarded as one of the best physiques ever on Olympia stage. He was looking so freaky that even the competitors backstage were shocked. Ronnie finally lost his title to Jay Cutler in 2006, who was chasing him for years. That's it for today, guys. Let me know what you think about the video in the comments and don't forget to subscribe the channel.